So the Threadripper apparently has fake dies. That's right. It's actually like dies that don't do anything. They're useless, and they're supposed to be useless. And I mean, from a design standpoint, we look at this and people understand. Some people understand why it is, some people don't, and we'll try to clear that up today. But I'm basically going to go over how the Threadripper is designed first, and then I'm going to go over why they did it, and a whole bunch of other situations. But pretty much to summarize this whole video up into like a sentence and a half, pretty much AMD has fake dies in their thing, fake dies in their Threadripper. This doesn't mean that like they're supposed to be there, and it's not like you're getting cheaped out of stuff either. They're supposed to be there, and they're not like offering any benefit or taking away from anything. I mean, we'll get to that later. But basically how they designed it is pretty much the same way they designed it. Their EPYC processors, which are the server processors, is pretty much there are 4 dies. Each die has so many cores and stuff, and they each basically it's really good because they can simply just take a die and put another die on top, and it basically allows for them to have kind of the same style for server processors and these Threadripper processors. So basically allows them to have a lot more ability to customize, and basically it's cheaper for them to produce, which that's probably the main reason behind it. Now you're probably wondering, well, what is this thing about these 2 dies that are completely useless? And basically the reason why this is simply because they don't want the heat sink or the heat spreader to basically get bent in when you like tighten down a heatsink. Because if you thought about it, the picture that I have up here, you can see obviously that there is 4 dies, but if you were just to take away the bottom 2, then you'd have an issue where it's slightly bended, and it would really affect the heat transfer from the heatsink from the processor. And so that's probably the main reason why they added it, just to simply allow some support. I mean, there was a lot of other ways they could have done this, and by adding fake, I don't know if it's looking into the research, it's really unclear about whether or not these are semi-used dies or like semi-built dies, or they're just completely pieces of silicon that don't have any really design in them. We're not too sure about that, but to go through and explain it, that's pretty much what it is. So I hope this video explained something for you guys. If it did, give it a thumbs up, and if you do enjoy this kind of tech stuff, go down below and give it a thumbs up as well. But check out my channel if you're interested in this kind of stuff, and thank you all for watching.